Congratulations. Good evening, everybody. I'm very happy and proud that Edsson management team made it possible, this event tonight. We had in the past already 3 board parties, and this year we decided to open board party from a little bit more serious conversation. And it's conversation about our company, about our customers, our plans, and how we will move forward in the future. First of all, if we talk about customers, Okay. If we talk about customers, who are Edsson customers? We've been analyzing our experience during many years, and we found that we work for 3 groups of companies and organizations. First group we call independent software vendors. Independent software vendors, that's the company that develop its own product or products or digital services or online services. And it's a company that has ongoing running business, and they have their own customers or consumers. And well, our first and the biggest customer of this type is Transtrack, and I'm very happy that tonight we have Managing Director, CEO of Transtrack, Ronald van Vliet with us, and Product and Service Manager of Transtrack, Pedro Vaz. Welcome guys, thank you that you joined. The second group of customers we call startups. This is just the future independent software vendors. That's the companies which, that's the businesses which only build their products and the business itself. And we possibly, many of us are using a browser plugin called Convergate History Search, and probably many of us knows the founder of Convergate and also founder of 2 other startups, Universal Horse Data and Equimi. Martijn Verboven, he is with us tonight. Welcome Martijn, thank you for being with us. Beside software development companies, we work also with IT departments of large companies that develop their own software or customize or build solution based on the standard products together with Edsson. And one of the customers of this type, I'm very happy to see here Andrea Stapinka. He is IT manager of Balkonski Group. Thank you for joining. Well, we all develop, all people in this room are developing software, and I would like also, since I'm started to introduce some of our guests, or all our guests, I also would like to welcome our our sales director Netherlands, Hans van der Meer. Please welcome. And our marketing manager in Netherlands, Elwin van der Meer. Thank you for joining. Yeah. Guys, please come here. Here's the place for who are late. You know, in a school, they are always sit on the front seats. Yeah? Come on. Okay. I forgot to press time. So we are all in this room developing software. We're involved in the software development, and actually. We all know that software is very rapidly changing subject. Maybe most of the rapidly changing subject among all the industries, because the nature is very virtual. You don't need to move objects or use certain resources. You just use your ideas, and then you get a product. And what's happening with the software latest years? I think you will all agree that these years we see very significant shift from what the level of complexity of software was before and what the level we achieve now, and even more complex software will come in the future. What we developed in the past, that was very simple. Actually, we do develop it now also, but the most of the software which was developed globally by different companies, not only by Edsson, not only by our customers, but globally, that was the business process automation software, which typically consists of some user interface with input fields, forms, which take the data from a user, simple algorithm in the backend, which process this data, place it in a local database, share among several hundreds, sometimes thousands users, but that's it. With the internet times, we as software developers get a little bit more work, and we developed a lot of websites. Quite often very simple websites with mostly design and some static data, later with content management systems, and now this area is almost completely standardized with standard products. We almost develop no websites we've been busy with in the past. Now there are a little bit more e-commerce systems which are also standardized software, mobile applications, and what we did recent years, we just making cloud-enabled existing old software. But what we see now the software solutions beginning to embrace wide variety of different subjects. So we see a lot of mathematics, a lot of specific knowledge is in the basement of modern software solutions. The software, which is very complex from inside, also becoming very, very simple and user-friendly from outside. So for users, it's now very important to spend no time to learn how to use the software, to do everything intuitively. And it requires a lot of efforts from designers, user experience experts, and programmers, front-end programmers, back-end programmers, to make the system working like this. And also, those systems becoming enriched with artificial intelligence. This subject, many of us, especially these old guys like me, were studying in university. Konstantin has a book on his table dated 1978, which called Artificial Intelligence. That's the book we've been using to study in university, and only now, because computers became very powerful, we have opportunity to implement all this knowledge in a software. And this knowledge and this artificial intelligence will enrich and make software even more complex. And of course, artificial intelligence require and make it possible to process a lot more data. That's why a bigger amount of data is processed as a big data, because no database in the world can hold the amount of data which we generate now in our everyday life. I'm moving with my hand, and a lot of data is generated. It can be later processed and used to understand how much calories I spend from my belly during a day. So, the software we build now, it is truly built for cloud. So it is not just the software we hold on our servers and we place it in cloud. No, we are using now distributed services which are available from big providers, and we can use them to build our software solutions. The software we develop will be used across globe on different devices, platforms, and even on objects of our physical life. Well, the good example is cattle, but we know a lot of Internet of Things feature will come in the future. Why am I telling all this? Because I'm trying to prove you the software became extremely complex, and it will be even more complex. From the other side, since we are involved in business, we know our customers, we know what is most important for them, and we know that the market and the competition became so strong that ideas which we have and we want to implement, we have no time anymore to implement slowly. If you didn't implement your idea within minimum time possible, then it will be implemented by someone else. And trust me, this someone else who could implement it quicker can distribute the software and get the customer much faster globally. So there is no time to develop software with many features. There is no time to keep resources, balances, and cover gaps by making development slower just to optimize cost. Because if we didn't implement, someone will implement it, our idea, instead us. And that's mean the time to market, not the cost. We have our customers here, but we are all in the same position. Time to market is more important than the cost of development at this moment. But look, if we are developing software in such a difficult situation, when it's very complex, and we have requirement of time to market, we would like to be concentrating on the software development, but most of the ideas came to the businesses which are close to developed markets. It's Western Europe, it's United States, Japan, China, and we see that there is a lack of good software development experts already in all those regions. It's very difficult to find developer. It's very difficult to get the full range of knowledge because we need more skills. Besides just the development, we need now math, we need now more and more other skills, user experience, etc. So we see that companies that develop software, like independent software vendors, for them this is very important. Startups, for them to implement idea in time is vital. But instead of developing software, they're spending time by looking for resources, by trying to get them to the right condition, by seeing how people who work leaving the company and they have to be concentrated on hiring new people. And you see there are more reasons and more challenges. That's why we, in Edsson, we tried to find the formula or methodology how to make software development more faster in the world of very complex software. And our approach, which we develop, we call high-end outsourcing. That the model is, which we designed is concentrating on three main aspects of software development: the expertise, the agility, and sustainability. Those three aspects, very important to meet the requirement of complexity of software, and the requirement of time to market. Expertise as a subject includes three main elements in our strategy and in our business model. It's A+ experts. The A+ experts, it's no compromise people with best, extraordinary and strong mathematics and algorithms and technology. With these people, I see the most people here, and all people here who are software developer, I can say, yeah, oh, good. I can characterize like A+ level developers. You know what's A+? It's for Ukraine auditorium meaning, yeah? It's отличники, yeah? Светлые головы. So I'm trying to comment it a little bit for Ukraine audience. So all our developers, and in high-end outsourcing model, that's the requirement to have developers like this, because we strongly believe that only combination of strong math and the good technology knowledge will generate a developer who is at times more effective than average developer. Maybe developer which was in the past, I don't know, we had an interview with a musician some time ago, or biologist, or something. We think that in our concept, only A+ level of knowledge is important. The second, which is very important, is on-demand knowledge and on-demand expertise. That means not all types of expertise required for the projects all the time. So it's very ineffective to keep someone with a specific knowledge long time in the project because he have nothing to do. But you cannot accomplish modern project without such an expertise. This can be UI experts, this can be math experts, then data analysis experts, and so on. And the third is ability to be prepared for tomorrow. You probably remarked, all our colleagues remarked that we do something which we are not including to invoices to our customers. We do now a lot more work which aiming the growth of skill in the certain areas which we think will be important for our customers in the nearest projects. That's the part of the high-end outsourcing model. Second aspect of high-end outsourcing is agility. Agility mainly helps us to achieve time to market, because availability as first element of this aspect is very important at the beginning of the project. Most of customers of Edsson, they are coming to us with a question: do you have a developer of that technology, or do you have someone with this skill? But the availability doesn't mean only that you have people on shelf and you can sell them from a shelf. Sorry for a comparison, but that's not the case. Availability provides customers direct access to resources. And many companies in outsourcing world hide their developers behind managers. And this is breaking time to market, because if you can work closely with the developer, you achieve better results. We see it from our own practice and from the market. And our customers know that, because sometimes they push us to this strategy themselves, like in the case of Transtrade this year. Second element of agility is integrated team of colleagues. We are human. We are not working like machines. We communicate each other in a very specific human form. We want to share our best ideas we want to show ourselves, we want to be better. And this communication, when you have two teams working on one project, sometimes works against the rest time to market, because teams start arguing with each other, showing who is better. That's why we think that part of high-end outsourcing concept should be agile, integrated team of colleagues mixed from a customer and an outsourcer. Third element, those people who work in agile teams, they have all possible technologies and tools to arrange best communication. And then in Edsson, we even think about concept of the presence, because what our customers feel when they make a choice between their in-house teams and outsourcing teams. When you have your in-house team, you can open the door of the office nearly to your office, you can enter the room and see people there, you can talk to them, you can see their eyes, you can see what they're doing, well, you can see even are they in office or not. But when you have remote team, all this feeling is gone. And customers, they have disaster with this feeling because it generates lack of trust, first of all. It generates disconnection. So we would like to create, and we are working on the technologies which enable our customer with the presence feeling. It's not just telepresence, it's not the sky. It's a tool which shows who is doing what and where. That's our Edsson portal. Third element of the aspect of high-end outsourcing is sustainability. When you develop software, when a company develops software, this is huge investments. And we want that investments of our time and money of a customer, they were protected with several protection levels. The one is a customer alignment. This means we think and we want to stay with our customer lifetime, at least the time while customer developing line of products. And that means that we don't want to take a jackpot on the first project and then forget what's happening. That's very often happening in industry. In a high-end outsourcing model, the customer intimacy should be a goal for outsourcing team. Second element, transparency in resources. We developed a tool in Edsson which called Edsson Portal. This year we will enable our customers with access to all personal database of every developer in Edsson with their experience in the project, with their skills, knowledge, and even planning. Then customer will feel comfortable to see that knowledge in Edsson is available. Even if they are not using at the moment, they know we have the knowledge. We have an expert of that level. We give access to information, and we build trust through this access. And of course, which is very everyday thing, but it comes to money, and it's important. It's a very clear, detailed reports about what we did. Because when we send invoice to a customer have to have feeling of happiness through the clarity of what was developed. And every item which is stated in the report have to make a feeling of satisfaction. That's the goal for high-end outsourcing model. conclusion, I just wrap up a little bit. The software development, the software nowadays is very complex. The time to market is important as never before. To stay in the game, we offer to use concept of high-end outsourcing and use it with Edsson. Thank you very much.
With happy customers, with success, and we part of the sum of success we made with these development platforms, programming languages, frameworks, and databases. This is only some of the tools we have in our minds and our expertise now. Not only platforms and programming languages and frameworks and databases, because the list is endless. I looked at the Edsson portal before the speech. I checked which categories we have, which technologies we have, and I tried to take the top N elements from the archive, and that was crazy. It didn't fit into this slide. So not only these elements, but also the services across the life cycle which we provide, which we expert, are very important. Like UI UX design, software architecture, application management, developers operations, agile transformation, intelligent testing, and application modernization. I can go further and further. For instance, application modernization is a recent case. Customers, our clients, come to us not only with the new ideas, they come also with legacy systems to us. And with high-end experts, we can propose the best in terms of money, in terms of future-proof, ways to innovate existing legacy systems as well. And that's the expertise we have now. Special attention I would like to pay on advanced technologies, because high-end outsourcing, high-end software becomes very complex. Now we have experience in text recognition, image quality recognition, Internet of Things, big data, and machine learning. Yes, we have some experience. We still have competitors in the market, but about this advanced technology, especially Bogdan will tell in future presentation. So let's not focus on that. So technologies are constantly evolving and improving. Yeah. Because the only constant in life is change. That's the quote of the famous philosopher. And therefore, high-end outsourcing requires mastery of advanced technologies. Well, about the trends. Imagine, I give you a simple example. 30 years ago, everybody could only dream about Internet. 20 years ago, Internet was in every desktop computer. Now, it's in everybody is online. Half of the world's population now is online, and the main tool to get access to the Internet is our smartphone. And from our smartphones, we have access to all the advanced technologies from the end user perspective. So, another example, 10 decades ago, cloud computing, and maybe 20 years ago, virtualization, were only in the project. It was theories, it was only startups. Now it's a part of our life. And these technologies, which were 10 years ago, the future, now gives the new step and use as a tool to give prospect to new trendy technologies. And the new trendy technologies, like sometimes they come unexpectedly, like the blockchain technology. This trend arose recently and boomed the market. It took like old-timers technology like fintech and took it on the new level. Besides the other industries, the fintech now feels the revolution because of the blockchain. The old-timers sometimes, like cloud computing, enable the big data AI, for instance, because it requires big data amount processing and the big performance. So exponential changes based on all analytics in the world now expected in every technology direction. So they change and they keep on changing. The expected changes are even more. Like in Internet of Things, in big data, AI, machine and deep learning, blockchain and fintech, virtual and augmented reality, natural language processing, and so on and so forth. So, the next slide, please. So, again, as Vitaly explained, in the model, in the high-end outsourcing paradigm, the software will become more and more complex. And more complex software requires mastery of advanced technologies. So, therefore, the high-end outsourcing requires this. And the big strategic question to us now, because we have experience and expertise in something, is which technologies to choose first, what to focus on, because we have so many. And what we choose from a variety of all the trendy stuff now, the near future, are the big data, AI, machine and deep learning, and Internet of Things. So, and yes, we already have practical experience and expertise in these areas, and which you can see in our practical examples, also on our website. And well, again, no matter what we have in our backpack, we still need to master the latest best practices, because we need to face. We do have experience, but we like everybody experienced that, and we need to compete. So we need to focus on the best practices, on the latest tools, the best model, so we will build our knowledge across that. Next. Technology you use impresses no one, the experience you create with it is everything. That's said by one famous UX manager. And speaking about the software, which becomes very simple and easy to use to end users, and more complex on the background, which users don't see. They just use this as a tool. We also use this as a tool, but in another way. So the great experience we already create brings success to our customers because of the end user, they're happy with it. And this brings success to us. But with these advanced technologies, where we go, we must understand what is needed for building complete and functional projects on the newest technologies. So, which processes, which components, which tools, which special knowledge, with which additional knowledge, which skills, which way of working we need to have in place to make successful projects end to end. The next slide. So briefly, I will go through 3 directions we choose, and just briefly tell you what's typical elements go with this technology and what typical knowledge areas are required. So, when you hear about big data, you normally think about you think about databases, you think about data mining, you think about BI. Yeah, this is like already part of this more wide term. Now it's not only this, but very big amounts of non-structured data, which requires not only the traditional tools. So, of course, it's about data sources, extraction, collection processes. It requires good analytical platforms, which allow you to work with the data, clean, transform, analyze, and visualize. And this visualization is only yet to the developers, to the development team. The visualization for the end client is a separate step. And business applications, where it goes, reporting, decisions, and actions. So these layers and elements in the building of typical big data project, they go from like an iceberg. Users don't see. The knowledge required is in the areas mostly with data, of course. It required like SQL as a traditional thing, but also NoSQL databases. Standard processes like in industry like ETL, data processing, data analysis, and data visualization. The programming tools which are used for spare related technologies normally, and for some data analysis as well, like Python, R, Java, Scala. It's also related to machine learning mostly. And frameworks and tools which like Apache Hadoop is now becomes a synonym of big data because it covers everything you need to work with big data through all these components of the solution. So, yeah, and data visualization tools as well. Coming from the big data, and from that we can jump to the data sciences, specifically for AI and machine and deep learning, because these technologies come together. Not only the artifacts from the big data you have as its own, but also you now can organize the data from the unorganized sources and build the model for predictive model and also the prescriptive model. And I will tell you what's the difference. So, typical machine and deep learning project comes through these steps. Like, first you define a problem everywhere, you acquire the data, you process and prepare, you work on the mathematical model, and you choose from very many models, and you choose on different approaches. You think what will work best for your business, so you need to know your business, the business of the client, you choose from the model, you prove the model, you test the model, so you validate, execute it, and then, only then, you deploy. And only then the traditional software development project starts. So only then you start the implementation of your model in the software. And this area requires specific knowledge in mathematics, in math and statistical analysis, in probability and forecasting, in different measures. You need to define the measures of your model. The programming languages, algorithmic knowledge, specific languages in this field like Ruby, R, Java, C++. I used because there are ready-to-use libraries sometimes for specific mathematical algorithm to process the data to forecast. You need to know the machine learning algorithms which are in these libraries. So, like, I will not list so many. And you need to know the typical standard frameworks. And I will tell you, we already have a good example of machine learning project with predictive analytics in place, and I will explain you in a case study later on. And we still, because we need to know what's our plan, and our plan to master all these tools, because during the project we were still working half new fashion, let's say, because we created the custom tool to work with the mathematics, to model the process and visualize the data. These all tools we still plan this year to go through on this case study experience and compare the results, prove the initial model we built, and also give a jump to the further improvement of this project. So the related technologies to this, of course, the data and data processing, so the big data before. Because that project, and I will tell you later, could be extended, future, and evolved to the big data and the deep learning. The next slide. Internet of Things. When you think about things in Internet, you think about devices. And yes, the elements of this project are hardware and the connectivity of this hardware. Not only you need to connect, you need to, not to establish the connection, you need to manage the devices as well. So you need this, you need tools and experience and expertise to do that. You need to build applications, and also it comes with analytics, because it's also a jump to the big data and data science and machine learning again. So these are very related technologies now. This special knowledge, and happy to say that we have such experts in our company, not everybody, but some. Electrical engineering, circuit design, microcontroller and programming, GPS development, many of devices, they report GPS coordinates. Node.js as a platform to integrate with devices, and data security engineering. Imagine how many connections you have. You need to secure the personal data which is shared from the devices. So next. This were just a brief what we have, and that's in our plan of the building the knowledge in our company, the work on the proof of concept, and evolve our skills. Next, now I would like to go through the case study which we recently developed in the area of machine learning and predictive analytics. This was the predictive analytics focus management system, TransTrack. Let's say that, yeah, let's be open, it's TransTrack company, so it's TransTrack team does it. So I will go through these elements through the typical process, and I will explain what we did also briefly, how it actually works. So first we need to analyze the business problem. Of course we know the business. We work with TransTrack for many years. We know the nature of data. We know pretty a lot. We know user behavior, the business scenarios. So next thing is to receive data. And, yeah, to people who don't know. The business problem was to make a predictive model to forecast the turnovers of the retail and ATM network of the customers, to know the future behavior of end users, to know the consumption of the cash. And to know the consumption of the cash is, I will say, is not actually the final potentially thing we could do, because it's just the intermediate step. We still have to do this, but the end goal was to optimize the cash delivery and collection by cash management companies to the network. So we have the minimum levels of cash used, so it's rather stays in the bank and works in the business than just lays in the ATMs and cash desks. So the data we receive is the user transactions, so it's the raw data. We still have to process data, organize and understand what of the data we need to aggregate and how to work with it. What are the dimensions we want to consider during the predictive model, in the predictive model. So the processing of data also took place, and then where that could be done with the business analyst and customer, product owners, but then we have this bit where the special new knowledge is required, is the mathematics and statistical analysis. To model the problem is to build various mathematical models to the data and understand which model works best to this specific task. So you need to understand the business, and you also need to know, so you need to feel the nature of data, the behavior of data. And actually, even the customer sometimes doesn't know which conclusions you can get from the analysis, what extra knowledge. So sometimes customers don't know their business and end user behavior as we would like to. So that model is tested. In the model, we build, first it learns, it adjusts its parameters. It learns on some set of data, but you also need to set up the part of the test set for the data. So the model is self-tested as well and gives you the performance of the model, so you can understand that the model is valid. And once model is valid, you can go to the deployment, and then we do the deployment. Now we tested with a lot of data. We generate data, but still, as all AI, machine and deep learning projects, we struggle with the data. We need more. We need more for analysis. So roles and knowledge and tools and process approach-wise, in this case study, we needed the following people, like customer product owner, business analyst, and data analyst and scientists work closely together. And this have to be process-wise, be a joint work, so with the customers, with the team, because it should be short iterations. We should be very close. We should see the early results, because the more we go with analysis of the data, the more we learn, the more we need to correct our initial requirements. And actually, it's not the first time we started with this module, because now we renovate the module and adjust it with the new features. Multiple years ago, we started with it as well. And the first surprise I remember was after the first initial data analysis, nobody in the company realized that customer behavior with the cash withdrawal and deposit in ATMs depends on the weekday. As simple as that. So, like, it was a surprise. I saw the faces of the people, like, hey, yeah, it really depends on the people. Oh yeah, it should actually depend on the people. And then further conclusions came up. Now we don't even pay attention at this fact. And the more we learn the data, the more we understand what extra we can include. So in this project we use .NET Core and Angular for back and front, and we developed a custom tool to data processing, modeling of the all algorithmic and visualization, visualized results of the data we work with. Again, we will work on mastering the trendy tools from the industry now on this same case study. Transparency and agile joint work expert. So further technology potential of this project are the big data and the deep learning, especially. The deep learning requires big data. Now, current set of data is about 2 years. But we wish to have more, because to build a network, neural network, to train it, you need massive amount of data with extra cases and all parameters. But also you can add other data rather than we have. You can add weather forecast history. You can have political, economical, social events from the future, from public sources, trend markets, etc. So like strikes, labor, legislation changes, everything to analyze some unexpected dependency or even understand the market better. Next slide. So let's speak about another key element of high-end. So everything which we have now and the potential we have at the moment wouldn't be achieved without you guys. So, and yeah, we already told that how important people talent is to produce high-end products. The knowledge we need is required, yeah, for this. Lies in academic, lies in technology, lies in domain. And we work on the ways how to achieve high-level knowledge in our company. And it starts from hiring, of course. At hiring, we go through thorough selection of candidates. We focus on high-end in the beginning. And we focus on people who are curious, who are eager to learn. And we are all A+ engineers. And we are all engineers, actually. So everybody has fundamental knowledge, has structured thinking, has different experience, but still we all potentially could build the system from scratch and to be a solution architect. So onboarding, because the business domain knowledge is very important to speed up the involvement of a new person. So business domain knowledge is shared by the team, and we train people to get this done faster, so we get the better time to market and better productivity as soon as possible. We want to have a personal development plan for everybody, for each employee in our company. So we know where a person is, which skills a person has, and which in our strategy elements need to be filled in, and how to go to which training and education, to which projects with practical experience to go through to build the knowledge and to fill the gaps for everyone, so everyone can level up. And the knowledge we get, of course, is very valuable, so we want to keep the knowledge in the company as long as possible. So, to finish, maybe as I'm already more than 20 minutes. So I would like to finish with a quote. Yeah? Any sufficiently vast technology is equivalent to magic, but let's keep it magic only to the end users and our customers, but as long as it stays a tool to our high-end experts.
Now I want to talk about the examples of the practical application of these technologies in real life. also about the combinations of their use. And the first case will be a capture scene. This is a document recognition software which is designed to recognize a document with a predefined template. So as a result of this recognition, you have not only scanned data, you have structured data to work. The interface is pretty simple. You choose a raw file from the scanner, choose the template for the recognition, check the results, and save it as a XML file. So here we can see a screenshot. Here we just drop raw file from the scanner. This is some editor which show results of the recognition. Also, we can reset up the recognition settings here and work with the source code immediately from this window. And at the end of recognition, you have structured data. Yeah, and this software helps the organization to create their own digital databases from the outdated paper archives. Yeah. And the next case will be a software and hardware solution for the car sharing platform, which now works in Amsterdam. This is a functional model which more or less shows how it works. Basically, it's a GPS model which is connected to standard OBD2 communication port inside of the car. This is our test kit, which were developed on the very first stage of the project. And this is application, mobile application for this solution, which allowed approved and registered users to immediately to open the car and control all the main system of the car. And this solution helped the users of the vehicle find the available car and vehicles on the map and use it immediately without the key. And this is a practical case. It's a full stack solution for road infrastructure of the Netherlands. The problem of the maintenance of the roads is the excessive loading, which causes asphalt damages. And the solution is in controlling the vehicles for the maximum permissible weight. So weight in motion works without stopping the main vehicle's flow. There is a high resolution, high speed pressure sensors area, also the camera area, and communication model. So high speed and resolution cameras make a lot of photos, send them to the main server, where the number plates being recognized compared with the transport database to find the exact vehicle. And with the information about this vehicle, after weight and motion system, we know basically everything about the car. Also, with the information from the pressure sensors, we know the violation of the maximum permissible weight. This animation more or less shows how it works. And this is a real screenshot, which automatically defines a violator, count the axles of the vehicles and divide it by permissible weight, and save and send the evidence to the processing center to send fine or stop the vehicles on the next police checkpoint. Yeah, and this software works in Netherlands and help to maintain the roads and also generate a budget for a road maintenance. And the next case will be a VKMS. This is video quality monitoring system. This is our project which shows how the AI can help people to do their work more efficiently and even replace them. we talk about security cameras. What do you think? How much people need to handle this amount of cameras? Or this? Or this? It's obvious when you have a large amount of cameras, you need to hire more people. And the main work for these people will be simple, recognize the changes inside of the frame sequence. And this is what our AI model does. This is a security command center, which shows all the cameras connected to the system in real time, also information about the frame sequence and the default sensitivity level setups. And when something happens with the camera, the system creates an alarm for a security person to resolve it manually. On the camera page, we see all the information about this camera, and everything is in real time. And also alarm history log, which show what happened with the camera, when and where. The security person need to resolve it manually, and depending on this manual human answer, this program evaluates their own mistakes and fixes it. If it was a real alert, AI assumed that the chosen algorithm for the data processing was chosen successfully. And the next time we'll recognize this alert better. And this software helped to handle a large amount of security cameras with less effort and with less amount of people. And the final solution, it's our own project. A lot of you were involved in development. This is solution were created to solve our own clients' problem. This is a general problem in outsourcing. When you have a development office in outsourcing, in remote, you have this lack of this feeling that you work with people side by side. And as a client, you need to know where are your developers and what they do right now. First idea was simple to use GPS tracking, but GPS sometimes doesn't work in a building. And then we choose iBeacons. It's simple Bluetooth device which allows track devices, other Bluetooth devices in 3D dimensions. So with the installed application, we recognize the users and their locations around these iBeacons. And with the building plans, we can define in which room people, like co-workers right now. Yeah, it was created to solve only one problem, but also it can help to count work time of employees or whatever, or track free meeting rooms. With the information about the building plans and with the Google Maps, we combine these two data and can easily define precise location inside and outside of the office. With the floor schemes, we can define people in different floors. And with the users' profiles, we can reach coworkers much faster. And history of visits help to know how much time a person spent on the work. Yeah, and all these solutions, it fits in our Find Colleagues application, which is now connecting to our main system, which is called Customer Portal. There is a lot of different models which helps to handle different business processes inside of the company and also outside of the company. For example, marketing, work with the clients, work with the bills, and even with the website. And now we finally have a coffee break. Thank you very much. next part of the keynote will be about shared process in global delivery, which will be presented by Olga Dimitrov. Please welcome.
Dear colleagues, happy to see you all in one room. So, shared process in global delivery. This is the process which helps development team to become part of client's team. And this is the vision of process where there is no place for my, but there is place for our. So this is the process which will destroy all walls between client and development team. Working together increases motivation on challenging tasks. Simply feeling like you are part of a team working together makes people more motivated as they take on challenges. And it gives passion and victory in the work. And this is for both client and development team. It is important to understand. That is why we always would like to be part of client's team. And that is why we would like to focus on the final result. Teamwork with the client grows freedom and creativity. That is why our experts always would like to share their vision of information and arguments, helping by these clients to take new productive course in their business. Thinking together increases quality of work. Our collective mind is a force, and it's been a long time ago not a secret. So, common discussion of any situations lead to a new level. And it's not related to number of brains in current discussion. Case in thoughts, associations, ideas, and some creativity. And there are no identical people as there are no similar thoughts, which is a feature of our company. And that is why everyone's vision is useful, and that is why everyone's vision is important. So you can ask me, what is the participation of client in this process? The customer's vision is important foundation for any future construction, and this is big motivation for development team. Family feeling of work builds strong connections and relations inside of a common team. So, what is the motivation of our colleagues? First of all, this is success of client. Motivation of people is to come to work, to see their colleagues, to solve these difficult tasks. Relationships between people are built by society, as well as relationships between people build a team. So, a family feeling is born with freedom and feeling of comfort, motivation to share information. Such comfort allows people to open up and to build a totally new process with a completely different quality of transparency and trust. So, transparency is like development. It's both a quality and an ongoing active process. This is a process that needs support and improvement, work with people, and interest and actively involvement of all participants, including client, which is very important. Without openness, teamwork is impossible. That is why we would like to build processes where our team is completely open and transparent in communications. Sincerity generates trust. Team cannot have unproved things. Sincerity allows you to control situations and build something better and stronger. Being sincere is our main goal for the next year also. So, the sooner we know, the sooner we can respond. Openness and sincerity, together with transparency, make it possible to find different impacts on early stages. This allows our people to quickly analyze situation and and to provide highest quality solution. And we can say that this has direct impact on budget and the success of common cause, which only increases its significance. As conclusion, I can say that transparency allows you to make good decisions, and only the common team of client and development team can do this. And well, we should remember that this has also direct impact on level of respect in the common team. Communications are an important level of development of any relationships and processes, since everything is all about negotiation, agreement, information exchange. This is the main key to all team doors. And all team members should be actively involved in the discussions. So our employees would like to get more information, more ideas, quickly agreements on some questions from the client, what will allow them to move project with greater speed and enthusiasm. Good listener is a goal, and we all are able to listen. It is not necessary to underestimate the significance of this factor in communications. After all, during some hot discussions, some important comments, thoughts, ideas, agreements will be not lost. So every team member is able to respect each other. This is the rule which we should follow because it allows us to grow, to develop, to bring ideas, to speak, to ask right questions to the right people. Respect is the main factor of development of any discussions. Openness in communications generates opinions aloud. And what process exactly does it mean? We do not think what we understand, but we are discussing whether what we understand is correct for summing up of what has been said. And our colleagues love to share information because each of us is individual with unique experience, and it is important to share experience with client. As well as for the client, it is important to share information with development team. This is exactly what will help us to build the transparent and open communications between members of common team. Asking of questions is very important in process in general because timely questions define the future course of events. The questions generate discussions which then later will move whole team members to the right direction and to the right decisions. We all are sincere, and openness and sincerity means discussion of another thought. So the next goal for our employees is to be always ready for something new and to be always ready for effective analysis of different thoughts. Agile is exactly that process which helps to build dream team and company. Once we have already discussed importance of communications, and communications are the right guideline for managing of tasks and status updates. And daily communications bring clarity into any situation and question. And it is not necessary frequent and daily communications to consider labor intensive and to save time on them, because absence of timely communication can lead to total misunderstanding. Therefore, we will continue to do our best for implementation of processes for timely and frequent communication. So, for each team member in our company, it is very important to be part of full process. This will allow people to feel the result and taste of victory. And this increases quality of work in several times, because people become focused on results. For example, which process do we see? Programmer who has clear idea about business process and about usage of the functionality at work can prevent a lot of additional development and expensive development and fixes in future. We would like to celebrate every victory together. There are no results of work of individual people. There is only common result. There is a result of teamwork. And each team member is responsible for both common result and each other in general, so for his, her colleagues. A tight team generates comfort as well as thinking together. And this is good for foundation. This is good foundation for good teamwork, openness, transparency, and responsibility for the result. The goal of our people is to solve all questions together and to discuss our future strategy together. For example, developer does not work alone anymore. Developer works together with analysts and testers who support him until they get good result. And this is it. And in this case, each decision will have an expert input from all team members. We would like to cover small planning time frames to help our company globally move to a main goal. And long-term strategy defines the direction and vector of our company's motion. And there are the top of mountains which we will be proud to conquer. This is how we would like to build our team, and this is how we would like to build our processes to make right decision in development.
The next part will be presented by our commercial director, Maxim Johanna.
Hi, I believe I'm the biggest person in this room and in this company, and I'm responsible for paying and collecting money. In our company, we communicated concerning the drivers that move the software companies to success, and we came to the common ground, and I'd like to share it with you. And I'd like to start with with comparison of old companies, old software companies, and new software companies. What we see in old software companies, it's in most cases it's big companies with which are difficult to change, dominating in different industries. Regional, with a strong regional influence, massive products with a great amount of different features, and very rare updates. They're defending their markets, and they're slow. And let's take into account the new burning, and explosive new startups that have the explosive growth. This is in most cases it's small companies or mid companies with a global presence, single set of features. They are limited functionality and very continuous improvement and growth, and they are very fast, very quick. And here we have the drivers of these companies being very successful. One of the main drivers is the globalization. Then we have the very easy access to media and to data, and worldwide internet. But all these drivers don't depend on the company, don't depend on the startup. And the only driver that depends on the startup is time to market. Be the first to do something. The earlier you are on market, the earlier you will return all the investments and earn billions. Oh, here is the chart. Very cool chart. Well done, wrote it, and this is a timeline. Oh, this is a timeline. And this is 7 points. You can call it, we can call it 7 points, you can call it features. And big companies develop their features and then they spend a great deal of money and great deal of time, and then they are developing, then marketing, then release, and only then they starting to sell it. What's going on in small companies, in urban companies? They are developing a couple of features, then they are opening and going on to market, then they starting to return their investments, and then they are developing the other features, but with their own money. They already earned. And when the old companies just returning their investment, then you burning companies just earning billions. What is the key factors for beating time to market? Oh, I believe that the main and the first, but not the least, is expertise. What does it mean expertise in software development? It's A+ developers. I believe that Dalia and Dmitry told about this great deal, but every person in this very room and in Edsson is selected from 10. These people are the best. And the second is full technology stack. We have all the major platforms. You needn't to go anywhere to find anything you need for the development. On-demand experts. You need design, we can offer design. You need support, we can offer support up to 24/7. Deployments, DevOps, mass experts, and so on and so on. It's the main platform for A+ developers and for time to market, because A+ developer can save you up to 50% on your development time. The second factor is trust. Trust is built on transparency. Everything that is in our company is very clear to see and to check. We believe that transparency starts with the communication directly with the developer. In big companies, you won't be allowed to talk to the developer because you'll be given, a queue of different managers and sales managers and project managers. But it's important to be understood in a proper way. It's a clear business agreements with management. I'm responsible for money, and I try to do any agreement as clear as possible, just not to have the double understanding of any point in agreement. Detailed profiles. As Vitaly told before, you'll be able to see all the detailed profiles concerning our developers on our customer portal. Detailed reporting, you'll get the record of all the activity that was done by the developers. Online booking, it's a feature that we are going to start as soon as possible. But do you remember the times when you need to go to some agency to buy some tickets or tickets to the plane, to book some flights and to book some hotels? It was terrible. Now you can open just your browser and to book flights, to book hotel and so on and so on. It's a new step in our development. And, you know, find colleagues, it's something that we are going to create for the 100% clarification, purification of our, you know, of our activities. We are a client-oriented company, and we believe in client intimacy. We believe that it's the best strategy to gain success. We client intimacy, it's everything that's connected with the client satisfaction. It's we believe in lifetime clients. We believe in everything that's connected with the satisfaction and good results, excellent results. I just want to say that nobody will wait for your super product. And the business now is very tough, and only the companies which are very fast for decision making and very fast for doing business and to be on time to market will survive and will be successful. And I want you to be successful. I want you to be with Edsson.
Спасибо, Максим. Thank you, Max. Okay, dear friends, as a conclusion, we have slides about conclusion. Yes, just a few words to finalize everything we've been talking about. First of all, I'd like to thank you, management team of Edsson, people who you had the opportunity to listen tonight. They are now the management team of Edsson. Each is responsible for his own part. I think that the teamwork was great, and yeah, of course, results of the first round maybe can be improved, but I'm very happy for the team that they prepared their presentations. They tried to make them clear on what is their thoughts about how Edsson is going to be the best high-end outsourcing company in the world. I'm pretty sure that if we implement this concept effectively, that in few years we will not fit this room, and there is behind this wall is a bigger conference space. I hope we will occupy this big conference space and we will talk And we will talk about significantly bigger, interesting, high-end projects. And everyone who is in this room will have already great experience of success in the projects with latest technologies, with high-end technology, with excellent customers and excellent projects. I'd like to thank you also for this event. Our colleagues who prepare and organize it. Natalia, I just don't see.
Yes.
Yeah, Natalia, thank you very much. I'd like to thank Violeta and Gorgi for also work. I'd like to thank all the visitors who came join us today and who made this event even more special, because when you have guests, you always have a passion to tell something important and to tell it in good words. Thank you that you are with Edsson, and I hope tomorrow, when we will be on the board, well, actually it's not a boat, it's a big ship. We will have time to talk, to share ideas, and to share some food, some drinks, and get really, really a lot of fun. Thank you very much. Look forward for tomorrow. Woo!